Hello, I'm Philip Stoten for EMSNow. I'm here at Apex 2013 in San Diego, California, and I'm joined by Mike Konrad from Aqueous. Mike, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
So, what's driving the cleaning industry at the moment? What's pushing you? What's stressing you, particularly here in North America?
Well, what's stressing us? Engineers keep designing components that really shouldn't ever be cleaned.
Okay.
They put them too close to the board and they put them too close together,
right,
which provides challenges for the cleaning industry. With challenges come innovation, and with innovation comes opportunity to meet a new market, and you know, that's what we're trying to do.
Okay.
And trying to raise the bar on
okay. Okay. And what are you seeing here specifically in the US? How does the US differ to perhaps other markets, or are they pretty much all the same now?
The US, if you compare the US and other countries that have lost a lot of onshore manufacturing, cleaning is growing in the US, is growing all over the world. Batch cleaning specifically,
right,
as opposed to conveyorized, high volume inline format cleaning, is growing more rapidly in North America and in Europe. Europe really never embraced the high volume cleaning like North America did. So we see the high volume markets kind of, you know, whittling down to some of the Asian countries, and the batch lower volume markets, you know, pretty much settling in here.
Yeah, and in terms of what we're seeing, I guess, from some of the chemical guys, is a drive for kind of sustainability, the green issues. Is that the case in the cleaning side of things as well?
Yeah, big time. There's always been a push for environmental responsibility for a variety of reasons. We found that of all of our customer base, if we look at all of our customer base, there are certain companies that want to be green just because they have this social responsibility and they want to be green. Then there are companies that really don't want to be green, but if there's an incentive to be green, i.e. if it costs less or they don't get fined, then they'll be green too. So regardless of the motivation, there is a new consciousness in the cleaning industry specifically that wants to be green. Last year, Greenpeace, of all people, the Save the Whales people, decided that they would add something to their arsenal of tactics, from just fouling the props of whaling ships and all that, to rating electronics companies on a scale of 0 to 10 on their greenness. And at that time, HP was the highest electronic manufacturer in terms of environmental responsibility, and they were only a 6. And so there does seem to be more of a consciousness over environmental responsibility. So
how do you tackle that?
Well, it's quite challenging when it comes to cleaning, because we have byproduct, we have effluent, we have wash solution, we have rinse water. We're redefining best practices. Best practices in terms of closed looping a process, zero discharging a process, has always been what we say chasing the wrong green. People establish best practices for economic benefit, not for environmental benefit. So they were chasing cash rather than the environment. So we've redesigned our equipment to allow us to be truly zero discharge. Up to now, zero discharge meant it was almost zero discharge. It just rounded up. It wasn't really zero. And the way you would do it is you would reuse your wash solution, which pretty much everyone can do. That's pretty easy. The trick is, what do you do with the rinse water? Well, you can recycle the rinse water, and up to now, what most manufacturers have done is they say, okay, we can recycle most of the rinse water. The first, if it's a batch machine, the first rinse, maybe the second rinse, we'll just put that down the drain, and we'll recycle all the rest of the rinse water. Well, that makes no environmental sense. You're taking the worst of the water and putting it down to for the city to handle, and taking the clean water and going, you know, oh, look at us, I'm green, right? So we redesigned our systems to reduce drag out. And drag out is the fly in the ointment for closed looping. If you can reduce drag out to a manageable volume, then you can predict exactly how long filters will last, because drag out affects filter life, and you can put a total cost on a cost per assembly, zero discharge, and you can predict it. And if you can predict it, you can put it into your budget, and you can be green without any surprises.
Yeah.
So what we're concentrating on right now is providing absolute zero discharge cleaning systems.
Okay.
And
you can do that?
We've been doing that for all last year, and it's really gaining in popularity.
Right.
So much so, we have equipment running here at the show. IPC put on a cleaning contamination center. Our friend Bob Willis is coordinating that event. And we have a machine cleaning circuit boards on a trade show floor with no connection to water and no connection to drain.
Okay.
Completely zero discharge. We've been running out for 2 days. We have one more day to go.
Yeah.
And it's very challenging for a cleaning system that has wash solutions and chemicals and rinse water and requires nothing but pure DI water to operate. And to operate that in an environment where you don't have any wet utilities is really challenging.
Yeah. So do you have intellectual property in there? Do you have something in there that's unique?
Yeah.
And protected?
Well, yeah. Who knows how protected it is? It's certainly unique.
Yeah.
And the trick is just reducing the drag out. The problem is when you're done with washing, all the plumbing systems are full of wash solution, and then you go to rinse, and the wash solution gets into the rinse water, which kills filters. Yeah. And then when you're done rinsing, the plumbing systems are filled with rinse water, which dilutes the wash solution on the next cycle. So the trick is get rid of as much drag out as you can. Yeah. You can't get rid of all of it because the board surfaces that you're cleaning are covered in wash solution. That's going to get into the rinse. But we can certainly eliminate machine-caused drag out, which is the majority of the volume of drag out. Yeah. So it all sounds very technical, but basically we do things like hanging pumps upside down and using certain types of devices that have very low drag out characteristics, and remembering our friend Isaac Newton and gravity, and using gravity as our friend and our ally, and it's pretty simple technology when you look at it. You kind of go, wow, that's easy.
And what you were saying earlier, I think is really important, that for people to really embrace green, it's got to have a financial benefit as well. Is that the case with this? By not connecting it to the water, by not connecting it to the mains?
Yes and no.
Okay.
A controller might look at it and say it adds 6 cents to the cost of each assembly, which it does. Okay. We go from 6 cents per clean assembly, which is really cheap, to 12 cents per clean assembly. Well, one can say, well, that doubles the cost of operation, and it's true. It's Kermit the Frog said, it's not easy to be green. It costs a little bit. On the other hand, is what's the cost of not being green? That's something a controller has a hard time quantifying. When a company has to apply for a discharge permit, not too many people want to go to the city and say, we're putting stuff down the drain that you can't drink and you might not like, because many municipalities retroactively enforce legislation. So drug companies, the pharma industry is well used to that. They get a drug FDA approved, everyone agrees it's safe. 20 years later, they find out that it's not so safe and they're held liable for it. The same happens with discharge. So, how do you put a value on not having to get a discharge permit? How do you put a value on having no connection to a water to a drain? There's a huge value there, but the value is usually never experienced because they don't know what would have happened if they didn't have that. So there's a tremendous value. Health and safety officers in larger companies feel that value. They can somehow quantify it.
But I guess it's a structure thing within their organization, how they view these things.
Yeah, well, they certain things have to be connected to drain, and they deal with that. And if there's any way around it, they'd rather avoid it if they can. Fortunately, the technology exists to avoid it. It doesn't add that much relative cost to the process, and it saves very large sums of money should a company ever get into trouble by connecting something to a drain that shouldn't have been there. Yeah,
which I guess is a trend we're inevitably seeing, that those little bumps in the road are coming up more and more often.
We buy insurance for the express purpose of hope to never use it. We pay to reduce liability all the time, and this is one of those things where it's a tangible cost, yet it's small and it's predictable and it's consistent.
Okay, exciting stuff. Good developments. Thanks for stopping by, and look forward to seeing you in Nuremberg, Shanghai, wherever we are next.
Look forward to it.
Pleasure. Thank you.